Alright, that part's gonna be edited out. Alright, so this story time is gonna be about my crazy ex-boyfriend. It takes place about 2 years ago, to be exact. So this was like one of those crazy long distance relationships. Let's call him Mike for the sake of the video. We dated for about 7 months, but I've known him for like a year. But you know, you don't really know someone until you date them. Let's see. Early on in the relationship, I started to notice that he was a liar, but and a manipulator, a huge manipulator. Um, but even though it's a red flag, I kind of seen it as okay, it's long distance, and he's trying to like make sure that no one else pursues me. I wish I would have just left him way back then. But the relationship was pretty rocky from the beginning. I don't know, he just always was very controlling and angry, but in a bizarre kind of way, he was kind of sweet. And oh gosh, the rest kind of went that way for about 7 months up until he actually came to live with me, which there was a whole lot of drama that was surrounding him coming here. Let's see, he said he was working at this job. He was gonna have to leave the job and come live with me. But come to find out, he was not working. He was just babysitting his nieces, which come to find out, he was a pedophile, and that he would take them in the bathroom and have a hard on and lay on top of them, which is why he wanted to come in the first place, because the brother was going to kill him. And I kept asking him, well, what's the problem with your brother? Why is he so angry? And he was like, we're just disagreeing, and that he's not trying to do anything. It's just, he's just mad right now. And his mom would call me and say, okay, if you're gonna be with my son, can you please help him get to you, because there's like a lot going on. So I said, okay, I'll pay for his flight, and then he can just give me the money when he gets here. He comes, everything's surprisingly sweet. It's like 1 month goes by and we're getting along, and I don't know, I just think he's really sweet. So I thought. Then I started to notice, because we would play PlayStation. I would be downstairs and then he would be upstairs. We were playing GTA, and I don't know, just my friends that I was playing with, and he was a part of the group. He would come downstairs and get mad and say, listen, turn the game off, I want you to come upstairs. And I would say, okay, why? And he would say, oh, well, the reason why is because I'm kind of lonely. And I'm saying, okay, but we're playing a game together. So I said, okay, went upstairs. I said, okay, what do you want to do? Oh, nothing, I just didn't want you, like, talking with nobody or being around your friends. What? So for me, I was kind of like surprised and like, okay, this guy's kind of a little weird. And then while we were sitting in the room, he did not do anything. He wasn't talking with me or nothing. So I said, I'm gonna go back downstairs. And he's like, okay, are you gonna come back up? And I was like, yeah, probably like an hour or so. And he invited me to like a party on the game, which he was not saying nothing for. He just didn't want me to interact with my friends, which kind of really ruined a friendship in real life, because now I'm not friends with her anymore. But needless to say, I think then it started to get kind of aggressive. I don't know why, but anytime I tried to hang out with my friends, he would get really upset. And he started like pulling my arm. It started off with like little things, like yanking my arm, smacking my phone out my hand, yelling in my face, And then I remember I kind of had like one night, just came in my room. It was about like 9 p.m. and he was downstairs. He comes screaming, running up the stairs like a mad person, talking about, who are you talking to on PlayStation? And on PlayStation, when you write someone, it'll tell you the date and the time. And he didn't see that. It was like 2 years ago that I wrote this person. And I was explaining to him, okay, well, did you look at the date? And then when he seen the date, he was really, really embarrassed and stuff like that. But before then, he started smacking himself in the face, banging his head on the dresser. And I don't really know how to react to people acting like that. So I sat there and I kind of was like, yeah, I might be in danger because this guy is like kind of like mental. Which I wound up calling his mom and I said, listen, your son, I don't really know what's wrong with him. He keeps like harming himself. Maybe I should just get him help or call somebody. Or if you guys could like come get him, that'd be even better. He apologized the next day. He's like, I'm fine. I was overreacting and I'm just so stupid at this time. And I'm like, okay, just, don't do it again and like stop hurting yourself. It's making me think something's wrong with you. And at this time, his brother calls his phone and I can hear that they're yelling about something. Come to find out, there's an investigation. The police are kind of trying to question the guy Mike for doing sexual things. Well, not sexual, well, it is sexual. He was hard and he was laying on top of his nieces. And I didn't know this, so I asked him and I said, listen, are you touching, like, did you touch your nieces? Like, are you doing anything like this? And when you live with somebody, you start to notice when they're lying and when they're telling the truth. He put his head down and he started, tearing up. And I'm, okay, this guy, he touched her. And I'm like, this guy is a pedophile. And that happened in my house and he's already been kind of acting crazy. So I told him, listen, I can't do this. This relationship is just not going to work for me. I have nieces and I like for my nieces to come over and I'm never going to put them in no kind of danger like that. And, maybe you need help and I don't think I can provide that kind of help for you. He went crazy. When I say he flung a chair at me, he flung it and it hit me right in the head and he was like, I'm not going no effing where and you're gonna just deal with it. And I was so in shock about the chair. I really didn't do nothing. I was kind of just standing there like in shock. And he took my phone and I was still kind of in shock. And I remember saying to him, okay, I'm probably gonna have to just call the police because if you're not gonna leave and you just threw that chair at me, it's not gonna work for me. And he's like, I'm sorry. I didn't do that. I wasn't touching them. I'm crying because I feel like you're not believing me. You're my girlfriend and how could you think I would do something like that? So I said, okay, well then call your brother, explain that to him. He calls his brother says, okay, you're dead. You think we weren't gonna find out what you did? And I said, okay, tell him that, you didn't do nothing. And he's like, well, I'm staying with my girlfriend. That to me is a confession. So I said, you know what, it's not gonna work out for me. I go upstairs after everything happened and I kind of sat in my room and cried a little. And I didn't really know what to do, and I have brothers. I just didn't even think to call them or anything like that. I don't know, I think when you're in that kind of relationship, you kind of, maybe it's the isolation because I was not allowed to talk to my friends. I didn't get to hang out with them. I didn't get to hang out with my family. there was always just me and him, and the environment felt so unsafe because he constantly was crazy. If he wasn't slapping himself, he was literally throwing stuff around my house, punching holes in the walls. And I was like, you know what? This guy is just like stressing me out so much that I literally was just crying day in, day out. Then I seen that he had this text from his sister, which I didn't know at the time was his sister. And then she's saying that, oh yeah, she better be taking care of you because I'm only 6 hours from her and I'll come there and beat her ass. Like, beat who ass? Shouldn't be my ass? That's what I'm thinking. So I said to him, who's this girl? And talking about she's gonna beat my ass. She can't beat me. And he's like, oh, that's my sister. She's just being obnoxious right now. And I'm saying, okay, so what have you been saying to her for her to think that she's gonna say she's gonna beat my ass? And he's like, I didn't say nothing to her. I don't know why she's acting like that. So I told him, listen, tell your sister don't be threatening me, because I will beat her ass. And you know what? I can drive to her. And he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna block her. I'm gonna stop talking to her. And then he was still talking with her. And there was this little joke going around where she's like, well, aren't you Nigerian? Bitch, I'm not Nigerian. So I was like, okay, you wanna try to be cute? So she was on Facebook, so I kind of started writing her on Facebook and, you know, putting some little pig emojis up there, because she's a big girl. And he starts flipping out, don't say nothing to my family. And I said, you know what, I just threw the suitcase on the floor and started taking all the stuff out of the drawers, which stuff I bought, by the way, because when he came, the man did not have nothing. I'm talking no socks when he came here, and some boots that were prehistoric, basically. And I mean, this man had no clothes. He just bought like his PS4. And I really didn't pay it any mind because I figured, okay, maybe the rest of the stuff is going to be shipped here because, you know, everything that's going on. But no, he wasn't trying to do nothing. And then he stopped bathing. And hygiene's really important to me. And I would have to tell him every day, like, hey, you need to, you know, you need to bathe. You need to, like, brush your teeth. You need to, you know, you need to do stuff. For him, he would get very angry and start having little fits and seeing how, oh, well, if I bathe right now, it doesn't matter. Once a week will get the job done. And no. You need to bathe twice a day if you're going to be with me. And he could not do it. It was a really peculiar smell that I started to smell in my room this particular day that lingered up until he left. It was such a smell that I made a mistake to go and I went to sniff it, because I have a comforter on my bed just to like make it even more soft. And I smelled the sheets and it was funky, and it went underneath the other two sheets and onto my comforter. And you can't wash your comforter, so I was gonna have to buy a completely new comforter. And I was really mad about that, so I said, listen, you have to like take care of your body better than what you're doing. And he just was like, well, I'm not doing it, you can't make me. And he was like, I need to tell you something, will you come with me downstairs? And he acts really, really bizarre. So I was like, I don't really know if I want to like go anywhere with you. And he's like, please, 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 you know, I'm sorry. That's what I want. I want to apologize for everything I was putting you through. acting really, really nice, but I know that when he particularly acts like this, something bad's about to happen. So I go and I tell him, okay, listen, what do you want to talk about? And he chokes me. Like, just out of, like, he's not angry, nothing, he just starts choking. And I mean, digging his hand so tightly into my throat to the point where my tongue poked out, right? And I know that's crazy to think, but it did. And I could not breathe. And I was like, trying to tell him, like, get off of me. And he, like, started putting his knees and, like, on, because he, like, kind of, like, got on my lap when he was doing it. And I was like, this motherfucker is crazy. Because who chokes somebody really calmly like that? And he really made it seem like he was trying to talk to me. And he just jumped on my lap and choked me. I was like, okay. I called his mother. I said, listen, your son is literally putting his hands on me. And, you know, I've come to find out that he was touching his nieces and I don't feel comfortable with him here. And his mother tells me, did you try getting coffee to calm the beast within? And I just kind of was like, okay. So I'm clearly on my own with this situation. I cannot call his mother anymore. I don't want to even talk with her anymore at this point because that response she gave me was like, in her eyes, her son can do no wrong, which is the reason why he's in trouble while he was in trouble with the law, because she always defends him even if he does do something. It was just way too much for me. I didn't know what I was gonna do at all. It was just, I just could not deal with it. So I told him, listen, get your stuff the next following day. He said he wasn't gonna do it. He was gonna kill himself since we were breaking up and he didn't want no parts of it. And I said, okay, listen, I'm calling the police now. So I called the police and he starts pulling my hair. I mean, really chick fighting me. Like, there was no punches involved. It was only hair pulling and, you know, like you get into a tussle and someone's like kind of like swinging you by your hair. It was like that kind of fighting. It was so freaking ridiculous and not what I expected of a man. Not to say that I wanted him to like punch me or something like that, but he acted like such a girl. And I never really understood why until like the very end. So the police come 5 hours later after I called them. And I'm telling them, listen, this guy's been putting his hands on me, and he's wanted for questioning in California, and I just don't feel safe with this person in my home. If you guys could please remove him. Police officer tells me, well, I'm going to talk with him first, and then I'm going to come talk with you. I said, but I'm the person that called them. And he's like, okay, but he seems really, really disturbed. I say he's sitting there quietly. And so the white cop goes over and talks with him, Mike. And then the other officer, which is a black woman, she comes and she talks with me. And I'm explaining to her, no, he's leaving. I don't care if that other officer is not gonna like put him out. Someone else is gonna remove him from my property. And she was like, yeah, I need to go downtown and then get him evicted. And I said, I'm not doing all that. He literally was not even here that long. So she was like, well, I understand, especially if somebody's putting their hands on you. I said, so basically what I'm gonna have to do is say that, you know, I want him arrested for assaulting me. And then that's when the officer says, okay, well, we'll remove him from your home, don't worry. Only thing we ask is that please let him stay for at least 24 hours so he can get on his flight. I said, okay, that's fine as long as he don't say nothing to me while he's here. And he's like, I won't say nothing to you, I promise. I'm I'll just stay in the room. I'll sleep on the floor. I'll just wait until it's time for me to leave. So I said, okay. The police officer said, oh, he'll even come back and like check back and forth to see if everything's okay. So I was like, okay, he can do that just until he has to leave. Then he tells me, listen, the reason I've been acting like this is because I need to tell you something. And I'm like, listen, we're not supposed to be talking to each other, so let's just leave this be. There's nothing that I want to say to you. I just want you gone, and then that's just that. He says, well, I'm kind of like into guys, and I got really jealous because you were getting like a lot of attention, and I wanted that attention for myself. And I'm like, hold up, wait. Oh, hold up. So I said, hold up, mommy. So you telling me that you like boys? And then she's like, yeah, so we gonna change Mike to Sarah right now, right? And I have nothing against the LGBT community at all. But if you know that you're gay, you don't date no heterosexual girl. You know what I mean? It just don't make no sense. Like, you want D, I want D. Like, you should be trying to find a boyfriend. So I said to her, I said, honey, listen, you put me through hell. And the boys that you were like so jealous of, I don't even want them. Like, if you want the Mexican boy, go ahead. Like, it's good. He's like, I see, and that's another thing I love about she's like, another thing that I love about you. You're so understanding. And I knew that I was not gonna find nobody, so do you think if I get a boyfriend, I could live with you and we can all like be happy together? And I'm like, no, girl, your boyfriend needs to have his own place. You need to have your own place, and you need to go forward like that. Why would I let you and your boyfriend live with me? That doesn't make no sense. He's like, well, I'm sorry for everything that I did and that I put you through. And I was like, listen, I don't care. I'm just through with you. I just want to move forward with my life. You know, I'm not dating for a long time. Definitely not after going through everything I went through with you. I just need some time to myself, and I don't want to talk with you anymore. So just don't contact me anymore. He says, okay, fine. He won't do it. Then, and meanwhile, this was that same night, but we talked on the phone because he was like, well, if I'm not going to go near you, I can talk with you on the phone. So the morning comes. Davina, please don't put me out. Please, please, please. I'm trying to like be good with you. No, you need to go. You need to go right now, or I'll call the police. Or if you don't want to do that and you miss your flight, your ass is going to be homeless. So pick and you choose. And then he's like, okay, fine. I'll go, but I don't want to go. Like, my brother's going to kill me. I said, you should never do what you did to his kids, to your nieces. You know, like, you're not getting any sympathy from me for doing what you did. That's disgusting. It's a low life, and I don't condone stuff like that. So, for me, you have to go. And then he gets on the plane. First of all, he couldn't afford the lift, so I paid for the lift for him to leave. And I know you guys are thinking, like, why would you pay for the flight and the lift? I just really didn't care. As long as he was gone and out of my life, I was gonna pay whatever it costs for him to leave. And he got in the lift, then he was on the plane, and then he was home. But that morning prior, I told him, hey, get everything that you need before you leave. He got everything. He only had a backpack in his hand. So when he gets to California, the police keep coming to my house. His mom is calling the police, saying to me, oh, hey, you got all my son's belonging there. I'm going to keep calling the police, and we're going to take you to court. We're going to sue you. bro, withholding his clothing. I said, what clothing are we talking about here? Because when he came here, all he came here with was a game and a shirt, a pair of jeans, and those boots. And there was not even any socks. I literally had got him like some sweatpants and like a few shirts and things like that. And I said, and he took that with him. So I don't know why you keep calling the cops. She said, well, can you just take him back? Cause I don't want him here. And she said, he's sorry. If he does it again, then you just do what you have to do. If you got to put him out, no, you're gonna have to take your son because he's not coming back here. So she said, well, I'll see you in court. I'm like, okay, because she definitely get ready to lose this case, because what money do you think you're gonna get from me? He did not have nothing. I bought him that stuff, and I had the receipts for stuff that I got him. Then he's calling as well because I had blocked him from my number, and he started calling like my mom number. And because my mom had wound up coming over, and then he started saying to my mom, can you tell her please that I love her and I'm so sorry? And I'm thinking, how does she love me? She just told me that she liked boys. I don't understand. I was all kinds of confused. So I got the phone from my mom and I said, listen, stop calling me. Your mom keeps calling the cops. And then when the cops got there, they said that they felt that I was kidnapping her son. And I said, do you know her son is like 27? And at the time I'm 20, so I don't really understand how I'm gonna kidnap him. He's a grown man. So when the police came, I said, okay, well, I know that you guys need a search warrant to search my property, but you know what, you can come and you can definitely search. And then I called him on my phone, and I said, listen, this is the person right here that whoever called the police, which I'm sure was his mother. They were saying that I kidnapped him or whatever the case may be, and he's right here. He's home in California, safe and sound. And so the police leave. Then the police come back to my house because she said that I was selling drugs or something, and that there potentially could be a bomb or something. So then I explained to the police, listen, you don't need to call no bomb squad. This lady is very upset because I won't take her son back. She's trying to make my life live in hell. Then they call her number back, and then they fined her for lying. Well, they were fining her, and I guess it was like in the amount of like $250 or something like that, because I heard the police officer say it while they were in my home that they were gonna fine her for lying. Then he calls my phone. He says, listen, well, do you think you can mail me the stuff that you bought me? Because there was like a jacket that I had got him, and like a sweatshirt, and like maybe 3 other shirts. And he said, well, can you mail me that stuff that you bought me? And I said, I can't really hear you right now, text me it. So he texted me saying the same thing, like, can you mail me the stuff that you bought? And then I said, well, make sure you show your mom that I got proof that that stuff I bought, I bought it, and I still have the receipt, like I said before. So she cannot make me go to court. So she can't sue me. She's gonna lose, and she's gonna waste her time and her money. So he says, no, she's gonna stop. I'm gonna start swinging on her in a few minutes. Like, what she's doing, she's being too extra. I said, listen, you're gone. Okay, like, there's no reason for us to communicate anymore. And you like boys. Like, why are you so calling me? Because your brother's after your ass and you're scared, and you want me to be your safe haven, and you want to come back here so that he doesn't beat your ass. So for me, I'd say, listen, I'm done. Hang up the phone, I block him from PlayStation. I block him from my phone. I block him from my mom's phone. Then he just started calling private from, I guess, his phone and his mom's phone, and then just like kind of harassing me for like maybe 2 or 3 days, and then eventually it stopped, and I was like, oh my goodness, thank goodness. So the lesson here is when you date someone, especially if it's a long distance relationship, make sure you take a lot of time to get to know the person, because I had no idea this guy was a pedophile. I had no idea that he was abusive. I did not know that, well, I know that he was a liar and a manipulator, but I thought like there was a tiny part of me that felt like he was only like kind of like lying and stuff, because you know sometimes people lie to try to impress people, and I thought maybe he's just trying really hard, like he's trying too hard to impress me. But as far as the manipulating and stuff like that, no. People like that never change. There's no point in even dating somebody like that. This guy had my room boiling. Like, it was swamp ass smelling, and I cannot take it. I'm glad he's gone. I don't regret. I don't regret meeting him because I learned something from it. So it's a learning experience for me. Now I would never do the same things that I did, in terms of if I feel like something's a red flag, I definitely will deal with it accordingly. Instead of like, oh yeah, you know, this person could potentially get better, or you know, he didn't mean it like that. No, some people mean their actions, and I need to stop being so nice and gullible and thinking that everyone's, you know, they come from a good place when really they don't. So I'm pretty much done the story time.